Hey, what's going on, folks? My name is Gray, this is Consoletronix, where today I present to you another bountiful harvest of recent acquisitions and pickups that gives me great pleasure to free from their packaging bonds and display here on camera for your viewing pleasure. Now, if any of you guys have seen any of my recent pickups videos, you'll know that I like to collect for a broad range of systems. And while today's assortment should definitely be a mixed bag covering a variety of different gaming platforms, the emphasis should be on one gaming system in particular, that being the Japanese Nintendo Super Famicom, a gaming platform I've long admired but haven't really collected for in recent years with any great conviction. But as you should see today, that is definitely going to change. So let's not dilly-dally any further and let's jump straight in, and we're going to begin with one that looks, I think, comes to us from Japan. It does, coming all the way as it does from Osaka in Japan. And by the feel of it, I think we're going to begin with some Super Famicom goodness. The title in question is a game series that should be known to most of you, well, it should be known to all of you. Truthfully, it is the third part of the Donkey Kong trilogy on Super Famicom, best known as Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong or something. Yes, I have the first one for the Super Famicom. I'm looking to pick up the second. In fact, it may be here behind me. But yeah, a fantastic trilogy of titles for the Super Famicom. Obviously released worldwide. It is known as Super Donkey Kong in Japan. It can be a game series that infuriates a lot of people with its, at times, crushing difficulty, but I think this is a VHS cassette. Hold on a second. It is. We have a VHS cassette containing a couple of episodes of the classic Transformers cartoon. Now, let me just be quite clear on one thing right now. I do not actively collect for VHS. I do have a VHS recorder up here. You might be able to just about see it in the corner of your picture. But yeah, the few VHS titles that I do pick up tend to be things like this. I had a copy of this, The Return of Optimus Prime, when I was younger, and I saw it going for a decent price, so I thought I'd pick it up, purely for nostalgia's sake. The only items that I would probably say I actually do look to buy on VHS would be like old martial arts movies, which contain dubs that have been long lost to history. Yeah, Transformers, what more can I say? Let's get to one of the larger packages. Now, in a couple of recent... I've lost my knife. Bear with me a moment. Found it. Now, I think I know what this might be, and I've been waiting for this for a while, actually. It is... We have a note which says... Well, it is what I was thinking it is. It is a couple of issues of Manga Mania. Now, in previous pickup videos, I have unboxed quite a few of these magazines. For those of you just joining us and haven't watched recent episodes, the Manga Mania magazine, I can't get it out. It's thin liner. Manga Mania magazine was a publication that ran here in the UK for a couple of years in the early to mid 90s, covering manga, anime, and all sorts of Japanese pop culture. And we have issues 33, 36, 34, and 35. There would be, I think, something in the region of 40 odd issues of Manga Mania before they went through a bit of a name change and became Manga Max, but that only lasted itself about 20 issues. I'm not 100% sure how many issues there were in total, but yeah, I am definitely looking to pick up a bit of a collection of these. I used to collect them quite avidly when I was younger, this and Anime FX or Anime UK, I forget what it was called. And next we go to something very small. Is this a Famicom game? Oh, it's a loose cart. Now, I do not pick up loose cart if I can help it, but I saw this going for about 10 pence. As you can see, it's a bit yellowed. But the game in question here, which you probably won't be able to read, although one or two of you might be able to recognise it. It is an Atlas game, probably one of their most famous games. It is Shin Megami Tensei for the Super Famicom. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Shin Megami Tensei games, their spin-off series actually is probably just as popular as the main branch. It is the Persona games, and Atlas these days obviously owned by Sega. Shin Megami Tensei, the original Megami Tensei games came out on the original Famicom, and they were hugely popular. I mean, in Japan this series was up there. In fact, I think they were actually known as the big three. The Megami Tensei, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy were the three big RPG titles in Japan. The Megami Tensei games were actually based on a range of sci-fi horror novels. The Shin Megami Tensei games, which debuted on the Super Famicom, were actually a departure from the original books, original stories by Atlas. As you can probably guess, I am a little bit of a fanboy of this series. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into what feels like a DVD of some description. It is. Ooh. All you video holocausters out there. Yes, I finally got around to picking this one up. This is Battling Babes Volume 2. The first video I did on... I did a video on the first Battling Babes, which contained... Oh, Christ almighty. All I remember is that Sibelhue and... not Michiko no Shwaki, I forget the other one. But yeah, basically it's just a collection of two crappy movies, although Moon Lee is in this one. Two crappy movies on a single disc. And basically, oh, there it is. Deadly China Dolls and Lisa Panther starring Yukari Oshima. Yes, the movies in question in this one are New Killers in Town and Escape from Brothel, although I have doubts about the second one. I don't think that is actually Escape from Brothel, but yeah, a video I look forward to doing quite soon on my second channel. Another small one. Really don't know what this one's going to be. Oh, of course, it is 3DS title, and you know me, big Shinobi fan. So yeah, I picked up Shinobi. I'm quite confused now because actually we'll come back to this one. There's something I want to say about it. And we have another one that comes to us from Japan. Where does it come? This comes from Fukuoka, Japan, which might be a Hit Japan release. Any mention of Hit Japan on this? No, there isn't. But it does say it used GameSoft. So, is it another Super Famicom game? Was there any doubt? It is. Ooh. It is. I mentioned I can speak a little bit of Japanese. It says... Wait, what does it say? Kamai Tachi no something. I can't read that last one because it's kanji. I can only read the hiragana that you see here. All I know about this game, Kamai Tachi means something like... I don't know actually, my limited Japanese is failing me right here. I can actually read it, but I can't, I can actually read the characters, but can't read what it actually says. It says something like, doesn't matter, I don't mind, something like that. It is a sound novel. Now, many of you might have heard of the good old-fashioned visual novels that are very, very popular in Japan. Well, these sound novels, as you can probably guess, you sound surprisingly. But yeah, I saw this game being played on an episode of Game Center CX, a Japanese TV show that covers video games, or not like Games Master or what was the other one? Bad Influence. It's a Japanese comedian. They sit him down in a little office and basically they give him one game to play each week, and his goal is to try and finish that game in the course of a day. Obviously we don't watch him for playing for 24 hours, but it is actually one of the best video gaming shows I've ever seen. Still going, I think, although the people who used to do the English subtitling for many episodes have stopped. Game Center CX. Yeah, I saw that there and decided to pick it up myself. It's a sort of graphic adventure that I'm trying to read a little bit of the back, but there's quite a lot of kanji involved. Yeah, any of you guys out there, oh, Jikyo, if you're watching, what the hell does this mean? But yeah, excellent game from the little I saw of it. Another one that comes to us from Japan. Comes to us from... can't see. But let's take a look at what's contained within. One thing I do like about buying games from Japan is you almost always get the games not only well packaged like this, safely delivered, but the games tend to be in tremendous condition to boot. And this one is Madara 2? Something Madara 2, I can't read it. Yeah, a game I have heard about. I think I might even have played the first game fan translated. But yeah, I picked up the second because I saw it going cheap. Trying to think, I don't really know much about the series as a whole. Is it based on a comic? There seems to be a number of different people credited at the bottom, including Kadakawa Shoten, which I think is a publishing house. So yeah, this might have character designs by famous manga artists. I'm going to look into this in a little bit more detail once I finish this video. Yeah, Madara 2, excellent. We have another package which comes, I think it's from the UK, this one. So, what have we got in store this time? And we have, it's been wrapped in what looks like a Royal Mail sack, and I'm making a tremendous mess of myself. This is going to take forever. Bear with me 1 second. Look at the state of me from opening this package. It had better be one of the best packages we've opened so far. Boom! How's that for a classic? Afterburner 2, the classic Sega Mega Drive arcade game, comes to the Mega Drive. I'm actually going to shock you guys now and let you in on a little secret. I've not actually played this. I've played the first one on the Master System. I think I've even played briefly. I played Part 3 on the Mega CD, but Part 2 on the Mega Drive, no, never. I never owned this as a kid. No one I was friends with ever owned this as a kid. In fact, I never actually even saw this in any shops or anywhere on my travels when I'd be out looking to pick up games. But yeah, I finally got myself a copy. It is a fairly common title, not a particularly expensive one. But yeah, for whatever reason, our paths just never crossed back in the good old days. Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this one a bash. Don't think it's a terribly faithful recreation of the recreation, I should say, of the arcade machine, but it is a good little title in its own right. And we've got a couple of quite large packages to get through, but I'm not actually sure what's in this one. It looks like it may be another magazine, but I don't think it's a Manga Mania magazine. It is, in fact. What the hell is that? The plot thickens. It is. Ooh. It is another manga magazine, and it is J-Fan. Now, the date on this is December 1995. This is issue 1. I never ever heard of this. I came across this quite by chance, so I thought to myself, as it's like 99p and comes with a free gift still attached to the cover, I'd pick it up. I was actually quite surprised when I saw the date on this, December 1995. I wouldn't have thought that a magazine dedicated to anime manga, but also music and Japanese popular culture, would have been published at that time, as Manga Entertainment, one of the main distributors of anime in this country at least, really weren't all that interested in publishing anything really outside of kind of action and science fiction. But yeah, we have Goku on the cover, as you can see here. Dragon Ball was shown here in the UK, but certainly wasn't shown in 1995 that I remember. I think it might have been actually the early 2000s before the series was first shown. But we've got some, Interesting little things here. We have some recent releases of the time. Angel Cop, Babel, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, I think. Project A-Co. What else have we got in this magazine? We've got some comic strips here, which is... Actually, what is this? It is... Bear with me a moment. I can't see a freaking title on this. Interesting. There seems to be some articles here on... what's that? I've got no clue. The Natsu Matsuri, which means Summer Festival. Macross, we have some... Have we not met before, monsieur? Or it's deja vu all over again. Peter Cullen takes a look at recurring themes in anime. Yeah, quite an interesting little magazine. I don't know how many issues this lasted for. Like I say, I never heard of it. I certainly never saw it in the shops. But, yeah, quite interesting. J-Fan. Anyone ever heard of that? Let me know in the comment section down below. We've got another box, which comes to us from the UK, I think. Is it another Sega title? Or are we back to... the Famicom. We are... Ooh, it is a Sega title, but not a Mega Drive one. It is... Boom! Asterix for the Sega Master System. Oh, the manual was upside down. Yeah, yes, it comes to us complete. Now, most of you should be familiar with Asterix as a character, although probably like myself, haven't read that many of the actual comics that he is famous for. A Belgian comic strip, not French. I've made that mistake in the past. Now, we don't have that many more to get through, so let's start with the biggest one, shall we? I've got an idea what this might be. It is, or I'm hoping it is, a collection of comic books. Now, I do like to collect comics, although when I use the term comics, I mean in its broadest sense. I'm not just talking about superheroes, although this may well in fact be a collection of superhero comics, sort of. It is the British edition of The Punisher. These come to us from 1989 when the Dolph Lundgren movie came out. Back as a kid, back then, I did have the first issue and enjoyed it immensely, but for whatever reason, probably because, like the movie, the comics weren't all that popular, so yeah, I never picked up any after that. It would last a total of about 30 issues. This set here, unfortunately, is not complete. There are 3 or 4 issues missing, but I have already put bids in on the missing issues, so yeah, another complete set to add to the collection. And we come to another box of stuff, which comes to us from Fukuoka again. And it is, once I get into it, I'll let you all know, a bunch of Super Famicom games, surprisingly. It is. Ooh, right. Actually, what's that? It also has... I think this might be Hit Japan again. But yeah, it comes with a bunch of little stickers. Little Japanese stickers featuring sumo wrestlers, ninjas, and... what looks like Lone Wolf and Cub as he has a small child on his back. Very, very nice. But the games in question are a couple of very nice titles. The first one being... Actually, let me show you this one first. It says... Actually, what does it say? It says... I can't read it. Mahojin... something. Mahojin... I don't know. Mahojin something. Maho means like magic or something. So it means magic uses something, I think. Or magical something. This I bought because I do recognise the 2 characters on the front. They were the stars of a popular manga and anime series from, I think, the early 90s. The title of which... I'm not 100% sure what it is. There was a sequel to this, which I will also be looking to pick up. I'm not sure if this is an RPG or a action title. In fact, it might be an action RPG now that I look at the screenshots at the back. But yeah, one I'm very happy to have. And speaking of happy to have, we have... Boom! How do you pronounce this? Seiken Densetsu 2. or better known to gamers in the West as Secret of Mana. Now this is actually the sequel to a very good Game Boy game, but yeah, the Super Nintendo title is perhaps one of the most famous games on the system. Trying to think now, because there was a remake released recently on, I think it was the PS4, which a lot of you did not like, but I've yet to try. But yeah, I actually had the UK release of this some years back, but I think I mentioned in a previous pickup video that I had to sell quite a lot of my games collection. Well, I've decided to buy back the sort of harder to get or the rarer games in their Japanese form. So yeah, here we have Secret of Mana or Seiken Densetsu 2 for the Super Famicom. I don't think there was much in the way of changes made to the UK release of this game, other than obviously maybe a bit in the way of the dialogue. And we have another box which should contain more Super Nintendo stuff. Once I actually get into it, it is Oh, speaking of collecting hard to get RPGs, well, I struggle with this one. Speaking of, oh, actually I can't reach it. But yeah, I also picked up Breath of Fire for the Super Famicom. It's over there in the corner. Does this come from the same seller? If so, why don't you put them all in one package? But yeah, this one also comes with, in fact, I think this is something similar to what I got in a previous pickups video. A geisha of some description, done with folded paper. So yeah, a bit of origami there, a bit of culture. And this one is one of my favourite games of all time, Super Mario Bros. 4, better known as Super Mario World. And yes, it does say Super Mario Bros. 4, I'm not making it up. What can I say about this game? It is one of the best games of all time, and also a launch title. So yes. I'm trying to think, have I actually made a video on this before? I've talked about it quite a bit, and I may have shown off bits and pieces in various videos, but I don't think I've ever dedicated a video to it. Which might be something I do in the not too distant future. Look forward to it. And yeah, not much to go now, and we have what feels like another Sega title. Which one? Master System or Mega Drive? Well, the last two, Afterburner 2 and Asterix, were without doubt classics. Here we have one which is a slightly less. It's a licensed title, McDonald's Global Gladiators. No, I'm not 100% sure what the deal was with the McDonald's here, because there was a McDonald Land on various systems, I seem to remember, which featured Ronald McDonald. So what the Global Gladiators have to do with McDonald's, I don't know. Was McDonald's simply added after? But yeah, anyone out there know? Then let us all know in the comment section down below. Released for, I think it was released for most 8 and 16-bit platforms. Is this another Sega title? Ooh. Which one is this now? Because I genuinely can't remember. It is. Something of a classic. A game I had as a kid, so I decided to pick it up again. It is the old Atari arcade classic, Paperboy. Yeah, I was never a huge fan of this title. Did own the Master System version as a kid. I know a lot of people in the UK would have grown up with this on their Commodore 64s and ZX Spectrums. But yeah, I was never a huge fan, but yeah, I did play it quite a bit. Is it complete? Ooh, oh, it's been coloured in as well. But yes, it is complete. Another one to add to the Master System pile. We have 2 left. One has been ripped. So let's dig into this one. Ooh. Wow. This one is kind of interesting. Inspired by the adventures of the great writer Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, we have Sherlock Holmes DS, which I believe to be a port of a PC game, but I'm not 100% sure whether or not that's right. It might in fact be an original title. No, I never bothered with any Sherlock Holmes games growing up. I certainly didn't. In fact, the only one I can really remember off the top of my head, to be honest, is Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective on the Mega CD. Certainly not one I had any interest in. But over the last year or so, I did pick up the complete works of Arthur Conan Doyle, which include all his Sherlock Holmes stories, and I did find them to be very, very entertaining. I was actually surprised how good they were. So I thought to myself, what the hell, I would actually pick up this title, especially as it was quite cheap. How good it is, I couldn't tell you. I've not looked at any reviews or anything like that, so I'm going to have to find out the old-fashioned way and play it for myself. And the last one, just make sure that is the last one, is, I'm not sure, it is I think another Super Famicom. So we end as we begun. It is, ooh, is this what I think it is? It is, it's a game I owned on the Mega Drive. So, like I said, I sold it. It comes to us with a sticker on it. Yeah, it's been a bit tatty condition, but it is Power Athlete for the Super Famicom, known in the West as Deadly Moves, I think. But yeah, like I said, I had this on the Mega Drive. A pretty basic Street Fighter 2 clone. It got quite a lot of press in many UK Sega magazines like Sega Force, because at the time of its release, there was no guarantee that Street Fighter 2 would appear on a Sega platform. The only sort of gimmick of interest in this is you could shift Fatal Fury style from like 2 planes to avoid your enemy's attacks. A decent game, just not one that will last very long, although it is interesting enough in 2 players. The graphics are pretty good. It's just lacking in moves, combos and special moves. But yeah, Power Athlete, decent game, comes to us from Canico, who would bring to us a few decent games in their short existence. So folks, I think that is indeed everything. We've got a lot of Super Famicom, a few choice Sega titles, as well as some comics and magazines. And as this video has been running for well over 20 minutes now, I think that's it's time to wrap things up here. So yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please leave your comments down below. There will hopefully be a few more pickups videos coming your way very soon, as well as many other videos, gameplay, and what the hell, I won't tell you this time, I'll surprise you. But yeah, thank you for watching. My name is Gray, this is Consoletronix. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.